Hello, my friends. Sherry here. And this week on the vlog, I thought that I would do something a little different. While I still have some plants around me, including my paper whites that are doing quite well over there, this week I want to share something different. And normally we're talking plants and, the mindset tools that plants bring to us. And this week I want to talk about something a little different and why you should look at meditating to incorporate that into your practice. What if you meditated 10 minutes a day, just 10 minutes a day? It would make a big difference. And before you click off and say, I've tried meditation, it doesn't work, I can't sit still for that long. There's a whole slew of excuses, which I'm going to share with you today, too. But I want us to look first at the benefits of it. And I will tell you, for myself, I was a person who for years said exactly that. I can't meditate. I would sit down, I would try, and I was like bing, bing, bing all over the place until one day I was given some advice that really changed my life. And that was about 10 years ago. And somebody said, make it your own. It doesn't mean you have to sit there in total silence, but it's just giving yourself a time and a place to relax. A time and a place to relax as you start your day. Now, some people say, I can't do it in the morning. I don't like it in the morning. But I started a practice which I call morning momentum. And that's what I really want to share with you today and talk to you about how you can incorporate that into your life. So let's talk about the reasons why people usually say they can't meditate. Lack of time. I don't have that kind of time. I have so much going on. I got to get out of bed and I got to go. And there is nothing worse for your psyche than jumping out of bed and just going for it because you've given yourself no time to wake up, to slowly enjoy the day. My day starts on my yoga mat in what we call our sunroom, which I've shared with you on this channel many times. And I'm going to be sharing more. I'm going to do a couple of weeks of this, including next week. I'm going to show you how I set up my meditation altar and the components of that and why that piece is so important. It's like the grounding to it. But first, just to get your mind wrapped around the idea of it. And what if you didn't just go barreling into your day, but slowly got up, didn't grab your phone, didn't do the scroll, didn't look at the news or the things that are making you crazy, but just surrounded yourself with beautiful things. And I do that on my yoga mat as I am lucky enough to have a spot where I can see the morning sunrise. And I watch that sunrise every day. Every day. It's rare I don't see a sunrise, even if I'm on vacation. It's become such an important part of my life. And like I said, it can even take 10 minutes. You might say, I have a hard time sitting still. I can't sit still for that long. But if you're sitting quietly, maybe even journaling, reading, there's a lot of components that you can do. You don't have to just be so still that you're waiting for something to happen. There are so many misconceptions about meditation that, again, that it requires the complete silence, or that you've got that, stare. You don't need that either. You really just need to get up and be you. And what I will tell you is every morning I go in with a cup of coffee to my meditation spot because I love that first cup of coffee in the morning. And it's just me, the coffee. Sometimes my pooch is with me too, Luna. Um, and so it's really making it your own. And it's not tied to any religion or Eastern philosophies, spiritual nature, which we all possess, that you're just tapping into it. You're tapping into yourself. Where am I today? How am I feeling today? And again, there's many elements that we'll go through. So don't, there's no preconceived notions. This is a lot of woo woo. Oh my gosh. I really want you to think about it differently. We are an instant society without a doubt. So there's also that lack of immediate results, right? Okay, I just meditated, nothing happened. It takes practice. That's why they call it a meditation practice. And as you go through time, some mornings will be great, some mornings not so great. But it's when you have that routine and that practice, you get better and better and better at it. There could be cultural perceptions about that it's, it could be a bad thing, or you're trying to encourage me to do something that I don't believe in. It's not about that. It's just about tapping into yourself. It may bring up some restlessness or anxiety because you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I should be doing something else. I should be doing something much more productive. But what's more important than you? That's the question I want to ask you. What's more important than you and your state of mind? We are heading into the holidays right now. It could be a happy time, but it could be a very busy time, as it's known to be. There's a lot going on. It could be a sad time. I know for myself, my kids, my grown children, are not coming home this year. I'm going to go see them here actually tomorrow. Yay! I have a little early time with them, but over the holidays themselves, I will have just my husband and I, which I love hanging out with my husband, but it's not, my kids. And you remember the holidays of years gone by and all that stuff. So it's finding a place for yourself that you can deal with depression that could come along or the blues that may come along over the holiday. You might say, I don't understand what I'm supposed to do. And I will tell you before I say goodbye today, somewhere that you can go. We'll have a link here. Right here with this recording, that I do have a 21-day challenge that you might want to take now. You might want to start it at the beginning of the year, however that looks for you. But it's a very inexpensive and it guides you through 21 days. They say it takes 21 days to make a habit. And so we can walk you through that part. Again, there's just the skepticism around it, the non belief about, again, I tried it, it didn't do anything, forget about it. But it's something that will come to you over time. It's not a fad. It's not overhyped. Meditation is just being quiet and sitting with yourself. You may look at it as a prayer, as a prayer practice sometimes, not any specific religious prayer, but just gratitude of getting up every day and remembering with gratitude what I have. And sometimes that introspection can feel uncomfortable, and it's being willing and open to be in the uncomfortableness of it. So, a couple of things to think about those challenges is what I'd like to share with you. Is looking at something that will guide you along the way. Maybe it's even an accountability buddy. If you have somebody that's going to do it with you, not with you, because you really want to do meditation by yourself, but someone who, like, let's do it tomorrow morning, maybe your spouse or someone that you work with. The thing I will tell you too is to let your household, whatever that looks like for you and your family, know what you're doing, because otherwise they may come in, they may interrupt you, they may not see how important this practice is for you. And I know in the beginning, my husband, because at that point in time he was going to work at 7 o'clock in the morning and I was in doing meditation, and he would come in and go, I want to talk to you. And I'm like, no, this is my time. This is my protected time. And if you have little ones that you're trying to get out the door, figure out a time. Maybe it means you get up a little bit earlier every morning, but it's guarding that time that you have for yourself. It's going to take a focused effort, because here's what I'm going to tell you. There is a dropout rate of about 20 to 50% of people who start to meditate that just don't complete it. Finding within you how important this is for you to quiet, like, especially if you're feeling a lot of anxiety in your life. Like, it's one of those things with gardening, right? I am feeling a little extra agitation. Like, I have my indoor gardening, I've shared it on this channel, but it's not like outdoor gardening. And so I need to also find something to do with that energy, because we need to guide our energies as we go every day, or music, and that's really what the 21 day program is all about for the Morning Momentum program, because it just every day gives you a different idea of how you can add a different element to your practice that you like. You might like to draw, and maybe in the morning you spend that 10 minutes drawing, but it's finding a way to tap into yourself. And consistency, like so many things in life, makes all the difference. Whether you can, and again, I love it because I'm in my front sunroom, I'm with my plants, I'm just in this place of it's just a beautiful spot for me to be in. You don't need much room. That's the great part. And again, I'll share that with you next week as we look at building I just decided today to be here in my office. It You don't need much space at all to do that. You might say, "Oh, I tried it, but it was boring. It was boring." It's just like anything in life, it's only as boring as you make it. And again, do you want to add music? What elements would you add to it? No TV or anything like that. But what would you add to it to make it really work for you? And again, maybe it's having some community around you to help you do. With that, I want to talk about the benefits. Okay, so we've talked about, well, maybe I've tried it, I don't know, and all those things. But let's talk about the mental health benefits of meditation. It reduces stress without a doubt. It lowers your cortisol levels and helps you to manage stress by not starting your day stressed out, not going, I got to get somewhere, I got to do something. It improves your focus and concentration. One of the things that I do at the end of my meditation practice for the day is I look at my day ahead. As I'm sitting there on the yoga mat, I look at my day ahead and I say, okay, what's important today? What's my to-dos? To-dos are my thing that not my to-dos, but my to-dos. Like if I get this even one thing done today, how would that make my day different? Actually been proven to enhance your memory. And so it just improves your brain. Remember, you're working on your brain. It promotes emotional regulation. So, if you're feeling like you've been angry a lot lately or your emotions have been all over the place, it's just again a time to check in with yourself. The emotional benefits also include increased self-awareness. I have gotten to know myself so much better over the last 10 years just by having this time, whether it's because I'm journaling or just, I do different tarot card pulls just to prompt me to think about something a little bit more. It just helps your emotional well-being. Again, going back to helping you to reduce your anxiety and depression. There's cognitive and performance benefits, creativity. Oh, so one of the things with this channel with at Grow You Girl is that it we want to work on our creativity all the time. I mean, gardening and home beautification is all about creativity. And it really does encourage you to have open thinking and problem solving approaches. I can't tell you this morning, as a matter of fact. So right now I'm sharing it over on Instagram, which I am Victory Girl over on Instagram. I am doing 30 days of writing poems. I joined up with this group 2 days ago. And so I've been writing poetry every morning during my morning momentum time. And it's amazing what just pops into my head or ideas for something. Because in order to have creativity, which is why it works so well in the garden, you got to get quiet a little bit. Even though you're moving in the garden, you're quieting your brain as you're focusing on different elements. And it really does promote that inner peace within yourself, which is probably the greatest gift that we can give to ourselves. Long-term benefits is that it slows the aging of the brain. I'm going to hold on to my brain here. As we age. And one of the things I know as like the rest of the population, am aging, I want to do whatever I can to preserve my brain. It builds resilience and just helps you to take on life's challenges so much better, especially if you've got a big life problem weighing you down and you can maybe get up in the morning and journal about it. Like, what am I going to do today to help myself through this problem? What am I going to make sure that I don't turn on the news today? Am I going to, because it's funny to me, as I mentioned the news, so often people say I don't have time, but they have time to watch the news every morning. Yeah, which is not good for the gray matter in our brains. Just enhances the quality of life overall. Now, again, you could meditate for 10 minutes. I usually meditate. I have my first hour of the day is my meditation time, and the time changes depending on the time of year. So in the summertime, because I always like to meditate either right before sunrise or as it's happening. Here in Colorado, where we live, we have some amazing sunrises, and I think we do in many places across the planet. To get up and get up with the sun, to have that, again, I call it morning momentum because it's like helps me to get charged for the day. So as you move into the holidays, like I said, next week we're going to talk about creating your altar. What is an altar? It's simply a place to ground you. If you think about it in a place of worship, they have an altar because it's a place to ground you. And that's what an altar is in your home as you meditate. And it isn't complicated, it isn't religious, it's just a place for you to have your tools together that you want to have around you as you meditate. So look around your home. I mean, that's the thing I would ask you this week as you think about this more, or maybe you've had a meditation practice and you've put it to the side for a really long time, is to say, where in my home would I want to have this? One where ideally, if you can close a door to keep the rest of the household out, if that's necessary, someplace that it's again, if you can be near a window to watch sunrise, absolutely the perfect place to be. And but just again, someplace that you feel good in that place and you can beautify it. That's our whole thing with this channel, is about beautifying your home and beautifying the space that you want to get quiet in, especially in the winter months. Now, in the summer months, I head out to the garden, right? That's where I do my meditation, and I love it out there. I can watch the birds, I can watch the different, shifting of the garden. I have a spot right in the middle of my garden that I put the yoga mat on. I keep in my she shed, I keep all my altar tools. I don't have an altar like I do inside, but I still have my yoga mat and all those things close by. So in the morning when I head out with that cup of coffee, I can really just spend that time starting the day in one of my favoriteest places. I hope that this resonates in some way with you. I would encourage you to subscribe if you haven't to us so that you can get the rest of this series. Again, if you are wanting to do something and you want to do the 21-day challenge, the link will be below in our description. But give yourself this gift because you absolutely deserve it. I mean, we do so much in the world every day, and so much angst comes towards us, especially those of you who are women listening to me. We have a plate that runneth over on a regular basis, and it's a time of day that you go, wait, me first. It's that whole thing of putting your oxygen mask on first, is what meditation really means to me. So, if you are a meditator and you have listened all the way through to this point, I would love for you to leave in the comments what you love about meditation. Maybe there's something in your practice that's unique to you that you would like to share with others. So, please share that with us. And please, please consider what I have to say here. And I will see you next week. Let's grow.